Hello, this is Jeff the Birdman here with you, and it is Wednesday, January 17th, 2018, and I wanted to share with you guys a video that I've been meaning to do, but I haven't gotten around to it, and now I have, so here we go. It's going to be detailing my new project car that is my last project car for the time being. A very favorite of mine. It's a 1988 Ford Mustang GT 5.0 5-speed T-top car. And if you know anything about the T-tops, they're very rare. I'll get into the specifics on that in another video, but in this video I just want to mainly talk about the car and what I'm going to do with it, and just some of my feelings about the car and cars in general. So here we go. I've had the car for about a little over 6 months. Haven't really gotten a chance to do a lot with it. But as you can see, I have it jacked up in the back. I'm going to be dropping the gas tank and removing and replacing the fuel filter, the sending unit, the fuel pump, and all the rubber grommets and whatnot that goes with that, because the gas gauge doesn't work. And I figure since I'm down there, I might as well do it all in one foul swoop, so that way I don't have to do it again. But anyways, when I got the car, well, first of all, when I was looking for a car, I wanted a running and driving project. I used to buy and sell a lot of project cars, a lot of muscle cars, and fix them up, sell them, and I earned a pretty good living that way on the side. But the last few years, the market really died, and I said to myself, I'm a blue collar guy. I gotta, prioritize myself. I gotta stop doing this. It's just not profitable anymore. I got my classic muscle car that I'm saving up to restore someday, but and I'm selling off the rest of my projects that I got. But I said I want to have a running driving project, something that I can drive and enjoy while I save for my main project car. And I'd always wanted a T-top, but wasn't a huge fan of the Trans Am Firebirds, or even the Mopar 70s that they did, the Dodge Magnum and whatnot. I liked them, but I didn't. And I always wanted a Mustang one, and I knew that they made the 1978 King Cobra T-top, but what I found with those was parts are really hard to find, and every project that I found that fit that category was in need of parts and wasn't running, and just it was going to be too much for me. And I wasn't really a fan of the way the 79 to 86 T-tops looked. I believe it was 81 to 86. But anyways, that's body styling. I mean, it very similar to the 87 through 93, but not quite what I was, looking for. Because I had an 89 white with a red interior LX hatchback with a shitty little 4-cylinder motor that had a header and beefy exhaust, made the sound real beefy, but going downhill you could barely get that thing up to 65. I mean, horrible on performance, but it was a great car nonetheless. I took it everywhere. It was my high school car, and I beat the hell out of it, and it just kept going. It was a great little car, and that's what turned me back on to Fox bodies, because I wasn't a huge fan of them. The styling was just mainly the same as everything from the late 70s and 80s. Just really kind of compact and lackluster on styling. But what turned me on to this over like the King Cobra T-top was the fact that this car in particular The Fox bodies are heavily assorted in both aftermarket and OEM parts. And for someone like me who's doing it on a budget, it's available. You don't have to spend a lot to do a lot with this car. And so after finding the car and doing a little research, getting more back familiar with the Fox bodies, I went down and picked it up. I'm here in the upper north region of Arizona. It's a little bit cooler right now, and the car I picked it up in was in Lake Havasu, near Kingman area. And when I found the car, the guy who I bought it from was the second owner, and he started doing some work to it. But overall, it's clean and original. It hasn't been, messed with a whole lot for a 25 to 30-year-old car. Little things, which I'll get to in a minute, have been done to it, but not a whole lot. The typical things you'd see. But what I was mainly happy about was the fact that it's a rare T-top option. I wanted that. I would have preferred an automatic because I did want just a cruiser car, but being a 5-speed, and I've driven stick shifts before. I drive them all the time. It's comfortable for me, so it was an acceptable transition. Well, not transition, but acceptable option. Anyways, but what I really liked about it is running and driving. The paint is original and in very good shape. There's like one or two little dings like there and on the other side of the rear quarter in this area, but things that can be popped out. The paint's in great shape. No rust whatsoever on the car, which is great. It's been an Arizona car its whole life, never seen salt or heavy rain weather. And like I said, it's just in really good, for its age, original shape. So I'm very happy with that. And excuse me, the second owner who owned it before me. We'll get into what he's done to the car. Like I said, in my opinion, was really tastefully done. For minus a few things, he did the upgraded the ignition. The alternator upgrade, which needs to be cleaned up because the wiring's a little, okie dokie, and you can't see it, but the bracket in here that needs to be cut to fit the bigger alternator, it just needs to be cleaned up in there because it looks a little jaggy. The headlights have been done, which I'm really happy with because I didn't like the six whatever, style, where it's, 1, 2, and 3 on both sides. The 6-eyed, that's it. Anyways, I like the one piece better, and it's a cleaner look for the car. One thing I'm going to be doing personally is I'm going to be adding the Cobra grill insert, which I already have. I just need to cut it and put it in, which I'm a little leery about, but I'm going to do it. But for the most part, I'm just going to make this car a nice cruiser, because that's what I wanted, was a nice cruiser, something that, yeah, if I wanted to, I could romp on, but for the most part, just drive and enjoy, as it is. Yeah, if I had the money, I'd give it, complete overhaul, paint, everything, but in the budget I have, I'm going to be doing it very modestly, little things to get it reliable and more stylish, acceptable, in my opinion. Because like the grill, I think Ford should have never gotten rid of that pony grill. It really makes the Mustang, and agree or disagree, that's, the way I feel about it. One thing that the guy I bought it from had started to do was the 5-lug conversion. He had done the front and had the rear end and set up for the back. But I didn't like that look. I really liked the turbine style original GT rims that came with the car. and just the overall stance, because the 19-20-inch rims that he had on it, the clearance wasn't great. I know it could have been fixed, but it just wasn't great, and it wasn't to my liking. I liked the style and the stance of it like this. So luckily he had most of the original parts to bring it back. I just had to refurbish, clean, and reassemble it, which it worked out because it drives great again. I'm gonna put the new tires on so I can have the matching rims in the back. But overall, I haven't done a whole lot. It's just mainly been cleaning up the car and getting it. See, there's the other little dent, but I'm gonna pop that out. Anyways, I've been just cleaning up the car and getting it to daily driver status again. Reliable, clean cruiser. And we'll take a look at the interior here. When I got the car, it was just all in disarray in here. This is aftermarket, which is cheap. I'm gonna replace, but that's been done. It does have the nice aftermarket OEM style, but the white face and glow gauges, which are surprisingly really expensive, and it looks really good in the car. That was tastefully done. When I got the car, this piece was all cracked and covered with that metal-like material. You can see it down there. That's oaky styled around the CD player, and it looked awful in here. It was from here to there, and just imagine, it looked awful. I replaced it, which was a pain in the butt, because you can't really get back there without tearing everything apart or being really, really patient, which I had to be. I also, the heater AC controls in here weren't working, so I had to replace them with a 91 setup, which ironically, 91, they made the knobs different, and they switched these around, so I had to pull the harnesses across to make it fit and work, but it works. Heat works great. I added the pistol grip shifter because I'm a big Mopar fan, and I like the way that looks and feels, but it does need a short throw shifter because this shift is really long on the stock ones. It's really up, down, and as you know, the short throws are real, quick and light. Anyways, but overall, I didn't do a lot in here. I just, cleaned it up. I vacuumed and carpet washed the carpets, which were filthy. I did replace that clunky armrest on the center console. As you can see, I haven't painted to match, but it looks a hell of a lot better. I replaced and fixed the ashtray lid, so that works. Not perfect, but it works really well, for my needs. You can see the door panels need love. Someone put wood over the speaker cover. Why, I don't know. But, oaky is oaky. Another thing to mention was these seats. If you look at the stitching on them, it's not quite the same as, say, the back, but it's pretty darn close. And that is because the ones that were in here when I got the car, I'm 5'11". The guy who I bought it from was 6'3", 6'4", and the seats were way back here, and they were 98 convertible gray cloth seats. They didn't look bad, but because they were automatically adjusted, I couldn't adjust it forward. I couldn't even reach the pedals barely without looking like, a midget. So I found these in a junkyard off of a 90 sunroof car, which is actually quite rare, but sad to say, in a junkyard. And all I did was clean them up. They were really filthy looking, but they don't have that lean that the Fox body seats are plagued with. Thank goodness. It does have, a little tear right there, and right in here. You can see but they function well. You know, they go back. And, they're adjustable up front here. And yeah, I've just really cleaned it up for the most part. The T-tops, they did leak at first on the passenger side, right on the seat, a little tiny drip. But what I did, and it surprisingly worked, was I took the T-tops off, and all the weather stripping, I took Armor All to, and I massaged it out, just kind of gave it new life, and it, from being in the dry area of Havasu and coming here where it's a little bit more moisture, it just kind of poop, and now they don't leak. So, that saved me a little bit of money for now. I will replace it all, but it's, a little expensive. And another thing I need to do is re-rivet. See that? The rivets that connect this piece to here and keep this, nice and firm and not, letting it bow, because the snow we get, we're up here in, the northern part where the elevation's higher and we get some snow, and I don't want snow to sit on here and just, pancake this and, bow it all in and ruin it. So that'll be a major thing that I do down the road, but for now, as it being springtime, I can, hold off on that. But, for the most part, this car is really clean and really, in great shape. Like I said, absolutely no rust on the car whatsoever. Tiny little dings, but never been wrecked. And it is a true T-top. I won't get into specifics on the numbers, but, like I told you, you can check by the door and the little tag there, run and decode it, and it'll tell you it's a T-top. I love the color on this car, and I'm just really happy with it overall. I'm not gonna hot rod this car out, like I said, or else I would have kept the 5-lug conversion that the guy had started, But I want to make this a nice cruiser. I want to make it nice and fun, kind of like my old high school Fox body I had, but, obviously with a lot more beef and reliability. But yeah, I'm going to be doing more videos getting into the work I'm doing and how-tos if, you guys are unfamiliar with. And if any questions you guys may have about the T-tops in general or Fox bodies, ask me about, because, like I said, I've had my fair share of experiences with them, and they're, like I said, they're fun little cars. If you ever get a chance to own a Fox body, own one, because you can build these cars on a budget, and you can do it tastefully. You can, like I'm doing, or you can do it, beefy, like a lot of people do. But overall, they're just fun, easy cars to drive, and that's what I really am happy with this car. Is it is a fun, easy car to drive. But that's about it. I want to thank you for taking the time to experience this with me. Like, share, subscribe for more videos, and if you want, leave me a comment or two. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may or may not have. And I'll see you next time. Bye.